This AI web app was built using Claude and this very simple automation on Make.com. Imagine if you could build any AI web app that you wanted to without the need to code or learn coding. And imagine if we could connect that with AI. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can build this on a website, any web application that you want to. I'm going to show you how you can connect it to Make.com, which essentially means that we can use all sorts of automations and AI automations, incredible things, and then serve that response directly straight back to the customer on a website to see what they're going to do. I'm also going to show you in this video a really cool application I think you're going to love, and you're going to learn something incredible about prompt engineering in the process. What I've built here, by the way, with no code, is literally an expert panel discussion. The way that this automation works is that you come down, you ask any question that you want to, and what this automation will do is fire it off to Make.com, where it essentially will create 3 experts to discuss it. Say, for example, I want to talk about losing weight. It will assign a PhD dietitian, it will assign a personal trainer, and maybe somebody who's in, like, I don't know, some other expert in that area. And then what it does is assigns a role to Claude, to ChatGPT, and to Llama to basically debate that. And then we have 3 debate cycles that run through together where they all look at each other's responses, so that you end up with, at the end of it, a complete WhatsApp style chat in this window where you can read through yourself and get it. Now, this has all happened within the website. You've put one input in. I just come here, I say, blah, 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 blah. I send it off, and then within a certain number of seconds, I get an entire response back. Guys, the opportunities for this one is absolutely insane. I'm Jack, and my YouTube channel, my school community, we're about 3 things. We're about the latest AI. We are about incredible automations. And most importantly, we're about the stuff that works. So if you haven't already, grab that coffee, and let's jump straight in. Now guys, the beauty of this, to make this, you only need 2 or 3 tools, and that is it. We don't need any crazy external coding databases or anything like that. And this video was inspired by a guy called Riley, who built a productivity app using Claude, and I thought that's incredible. I wonder if we could even connect it to AI and do something that's like even crazier. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you how this automation works, and then we're gonna show you how you can build any app you want to with AI, connected to Make, to get AI, to get a web-based AI application with 0 coding. Bear in mind, I don't know any coding. I just push buttons and ask questions, okay? And then it works. So let me show you how this works, right? Now in the background, this is what's gonna happen, okay? These are webhooks, okay? This scenario is always gonna be running in the background. So let's say that we're on this thing, and by the way, this is like just a random page. I haven't designed that as an app, but you get the idea. We come here, so let's just say we ask a question. So let's just say we say, hey, I don't know, I drink 4 coffees a day. Should I stop drinking coffee for my health? Something random like that, I don't know, could be whatever you want to. And then I just say, okay, cool, send that off. Now look at this, immediately I get a countdown timer, all coded by AI. I didn't touch this. And by the way, this is an MVP. I deliberately didn't make this something where like it would look perfect. Like this literally took me like, I don't know, an hour to do max, and then I got all this stuff. Now look, this has got a countdown, we've got animations. Let's head back over to see what's happening with our automation. Look at this. The webhook corporate data, it's prompted and created 3 different roles. It's created Frank Few, chairman of the Department of National Nutrition at Harvard. It's created another guy who's a research director at the French National Institute of Health and Medical Research, Dr. Rob Dandam, professor in exercise and nutrition sciences at George Washington. We give them roles because it helps the AI to better articulate its points when you give it a specific role. Now, what's happening here? This is round 1. They all give their opening statements. Now they're responding to each other. Now, what this is, guys, is panel discussion prompt. The reason why this is such a powerful prompting technique, and I personally, after building this software, I mean, this application's irrelevant. The fact is that you can make it and get it to do all this crazy stuff. But I guess this could almost be 2 videos in one. A, the prompting strategy, and B, the technology. But you know, you're gonna get 2 for 1, baby. We just want to stack the value over here. The reason why this is so cool is because what this does, guys, is it starts with one perspective, okay? And now normally, like if you say to ChatGPT or Claude, hey, tell me the best way to do X, and it will give you a list. But then if you say to it, hey, how could that be improved? It'll say, that's a great question, Jack. Here are all the ways that it could be improved. With the panel style strategy using 3 different models, the AI is criticizing itself, which means it is self-iterating its perspective, meaning it's trying to put holes in it. And the way that I prompted this and all the prompts and stuff available in the school community is that it will basically, you get to see the conversation happen, and at the same time, the actual quality gets better. I vastly prefer this output over just a direct conversation. Now look, I head back over to the website. This is just finishing loading. This is just a funny feature of the code. I put a 70-second timer. If I added a line that said remove if the conversation happens before, it'd be cool. But look at this, guys. look how crazy this is. Claude, thank you for the introduction. I am Dr. Astrid Nel, Research Director at the French National Institute of Health and Medical Research. I specialize in X. Given your consumption of 4 coffees a day, my initial advice is that moderate coffee intake can offer several health benefits. Research shows X. It goes on to discuss, I ask, how does your coffee consumption affect daily life and well-being? This can guide more personalized advice as well. Then this guy gives his opening statements. Like, I like to, now this guy here is coming from nutritional epidemiology with the focus on coffee consumption. I would encourage you to consider the type of coffee you're consuming. Black coffee is the healthiest option. Sugars and high-fat creams can negate some of the health benefits, blah, blah, blah. And then we've got the third guy here, who's a profession in exercise nutrition. While moderate coffee consumption, typically defined as 3 to 4 cups per day, is generally considered safe. Did you realize you're gonna get a coffee masterclass? I didn't know that, man. I didn't know I was gonna sign up for that today. And it goes on, and now look, what's really cool, guys, is they then start to interact with each other in this prompt. And guys, this is just an example. You could build anything, a to-do list, a Kanban board. You literally, if you can imagine it, we can build it. So look, Dr. Man, I'd like to build on your point about the importance of overall dietary patterns. Now, it's really good that they basically go on to, they go on to challenge each other and have conversations, and then the conversation is getting better and better and better, and they give recommendations, and they just kind of push at the bottom. It's also really good when you're like unsure about decisions, like, should I move to Italy or should I move to Germany? Or you can basically, the better the question, the better responses. But this is just to show you high level how the specific works. Now, the way I'm going to start off this, first of all, the tools that you need, okay? Now, I wanted to build this with you in mind to make it as simple as possible for you to plug and play. So to do that, you realistically need 3 things. The first thing that you're going to need is access to Make.com. It is a no-code automation software where basically we can modularize and put things together. We can put Google Sheets in there. We can put Claude, ChatGPT, Airtable, which is like a steroidal Google Sheets. Anything we want, we connect them together, we press buttons, and then it's no-code automation. What we do here is AI and no-code automation. In other words, we connect things together and we use the best technologies available. The second thing you're going to need access to, obviously, is language model, because this is going to be the heavy lifting. And then the beauty of using things like Claude and ChatGPT is the fact that we don't need to know how to code. We can just push the buttons in, get the code, and running. I mean, the third thing that I want you to use, now, there's 2 philosophies with this. One is that we could create code and host it on a website. I think the hosting, the domain name, all of that nonsense is just noise. There are some things where it's worth just spending like $49 and getting 25 sites, and that's what Card does. I mean, I did my last business, my tech business. I got it to like 50K unique visitors. I used WordPress, okay? If I was starting a business from scratch, I'd start with Card because it's just so much easier and it's quicker and it's significantly cheaper to do anyway. But look, I'll show you, right? If I go and choose a starting point, you get all these things. They're not a sponsor, by the way. I just will always recommend the things that work for me. Now, look, you can pick any page you want to. Say you like the look of this or this, and it's a modular thing. And just show you the price down here, $49. You get 25 sites, no branding, and you get to create the website immediately. So you don't have to worry about the faff or the hassle of doing all that stuff. And I just think it'll save a lot of time. And I'll recommend stuff that saves you the time. So those are the tools that you need, guys. So the question then becomes, how do we physically build this? Now, look, if you're part of the community and you want to just lock and load this automation, all you ever have to do is come down here to the buttons, import blueprints, choose the JSON. You select the JSON, you click save, and then it populates automatically. All these blueprints and guides are available in the community. You can just like copy and paste it. If you like saving time and getting automations that aren't on the YouTube channel to get the real deep, super secret understanding of how this stuff works. So how am I going to start this off? I'm going to show you first of all the AI bit, okay? Building the code and something really cool. And then we're going to build the make scenario together. So how do we do that? Well, what was really interesting is you can actually feed Claude an image, and Claude has this really cool feature called an artifact window. So say, for example, if I head over to google.com and let's say I want to get some inspiration, just say, hey, WhatsApp style chat window like this, okay? And let's say I go to images, right? And I just tried to find one that's good. Maybe we could find like, I don't know, what would be a really good example of that? Okay, let's take this image, okay? Let's say we copy that image. We can come over now. We come over to Claude. I paste it in Claude. I give it a prompt, something like this. Like, I would like you to create HTML only code for a web application. And then we basically just list out the functionalities. Now, guys, this could be anything you want. It could be a to-do list. It could be whatever your wildest dreams are. Claude can help you build it in HTML. I could say, then I'd say the functionalities. Number 1, user submits question. And I'd say webhook fires with question. And I'd say webhook address. Now, webhooks are the things we're going to be using. And then I'd say like it will display 3 different voices in a WhatsApp style with different colors. And then I could say something like, once submitted, do a confetti animation and add a 70-second timer. And then what else can we say? And then just say font, Avenir, and then just say use the below designs for the HTML. And then what we could also do, we can give it a couple of different things as well in terms of how to do this. So for example, let's come back over to Google. Is there anything else we really like? So if I just said like cool chat design, and guys, this is basically the whole process, by the way. This is kind of just what it is. You're just kind of going back and forth like this. That looks quite cool. So let's copy that. Actually, I won't copy that. What I'll do, let me just screencast that, because what it can sometimes do, even if you give it like a landing page, it will, it can be a bit naughty and just include stuff we don't want. So let's just copy that like so. Okay, you ready? And then we hit enter. Now check this out. While that's loading in the background, let me just do this thing here called HTML code viewer, which is this sweet one here. Now we get to Claude. Now look at this. It's building the stuff. It's HTML in the code. It's running in the background. It's doing its bits, it's doing its pieces, and it's like a conversational builder. Like you basically say do this, and then you just kind of do mini troubleshoots as you go all the way through the process. Okay, type your question. Let's have a look. Do we like that? And Barry, you can say all sorts of stuff, right? Like a form to submit questions, placeholder function, webhook timer, confetti animation, basic styles. If I click send, hey, sometimes it doesn't work in there. So what we can do is we come to the code and then we copy it. Now here's what was really cool, okay? Now we head over to car.com or your website builder of choice. So say for example, we're here on this one. You come on this plus button, you're gonna come down to embed, okay? Click on the code like this. Come down the code, paste the code. And then once we pasted the code, we click done like so. And then we're gonna put save, come down, give it a title, letter random letters, description. This is how it will appear online on Google. Publish a card URL's fine, letter random letters, no spaces if that's cool. I'm just kind of speed running this because I think this is like, yeah, just details you can think about. Hit publish, go to element, unfinished element. Let's just delete some of this stuff, shall we? Just for simplicity's sake, get rid of this guy, that's cool. And then we should be able to publish it now. Excellent. This is, now guys, you got a website. You can do 25 of those for $49. How crazy is that? Let's load it up. Hey, I'm Molly. This is always going to be good enough, by the way, to get your MVP. And then we've got this, the Claude just made. How crazy is that? Now look, if I say, hey, send. Now, that's not what we want, okay? But it works. So this, your first version is going to be terrible, and then you'll see this, okay? What we're going to do is go over then to make.com and get the webhook set up, okay? So check this out. What do we do? Well, look, the first thing we need to do is come here like this, type in webhooks, okay? And then you're gonna do this one here, which is custom webhook, all right? And then just put add, and we'll call this one coffee webhook. Why coffee? I don't know, but at least we'll remember it, all right? And a little emoji, a little coffee emoji for good measure. Okay, cool, let's get a little coffee emoji, come over. I love it, okay, cool. Now check this out, guys. You're given a webhook here, and what it's doing at the moment is determining the data structure. So if your automation ever stops, just redetermine data structure, make sure that it can receive. So the first thing we want to validate is that, look, you have created a cool web application on this website. We need to make sure now that the code is firing the information to make. Now, if I can get the information to make.com, I can do anything. I can literally do anything I want. I can fire off letters to your address, emails, phone calls. I can like essentially take over the world if I get it into make.com. Its only job is to get it into make.com. Once it's in there, it can go into my CRM. It can do anything. That's how powerful this is. So now we've got, look, the webhook. So let's head back over now to Claude, okay? So I'd say, I would like you to rewrite the code with the following upgrades. Number one is include this webhook. And then we put that in there. Now, what's the other thing that we want to do with that? So let's have a quick look, type your question. I would say we want above the part where you enter. Make it look more like this. And again, I could show you interesting anyone here, but look, if I just show you something like this, we'll just screenshot this, shall we? We come back over to Claude. Bear in mind, you only get 5 images in the chat. So that's just something to bear in mind. If that ever happens, by the way, a little hack is to say, hey, Claude, please summarize this conversation succinctly, copy that text, and then move it into a new chat window. Now look, it's now giving us the code again. So you go through this iterative cycle of identifying what's working, what isn't working. We just copy and paste. We just copy and paste. That's all we do. And then it starts working in the background. Check this out. Okay, it's working. It's writing code for us. I love it. Okay, sweet. Now look, what do? I copy the content. I head back over now to our website here. And what do? I come down to the code. I click here. I select all. I enter the new code. I click done. And then I click publish this site. Click publish changes like so. Yeah, it loads in the background for me. Having a good time. Awesome. Cool. Now we open the website. Check this out. It's here. And voila, it looks a little bit better. And you'll go through like 9 or 10 iterations. It's, by the way, guys, well, I encourage you, when you get one that works and is cool, bank the code, just save the code to the side. And then if for some reason it regresses or something, you can always come back and change it. If I say, hey, now look, now we want to validate, okay, that the webhook works. So what do? You're going to click on this, redetermine data structure. It's waiting to receive something. Check this out, guys. Ready? If I say, hey, confetti. How cool is that? This is crazy. Now, has this found some stuff? Successfully determined. Do you know what that means? It means it's gotten some cool data. So let's test it out. So run this once. Okay, sweet. We come back over. Let's ask it a question. Let me just refresh the page. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so how many times a week should I work out? Boom, that goes in. Come back over to the panel. How many times a week should I work out? Gosh, you've done it. You've basically done it. So essentially what's happened here is you've just created an AI web application, okay? Well, not AI yet, but a web application at the moment where you've created some random code, it's created it, it's painted straight over, and then we're ready to go. Like, how insane is that? Like, and it's also fit within the confines of the website. If it starts affecting the code, just say to ChatGPT, and call a little hack, by the way, is say, hey, place a container around this so it doesn't affect the rest of the code, and then for some reason that helps to shape out a little bit. There's a little hack for you. What else would I say? I'd say align right. There's a little things we could do, but for the purpose of this is great. Now, this video's really got 2 aspects to it. One is like the AI app, but it's also this thing I want to show you about how we can create this panel discussion prompt that I think is profoundly powerful. Okay, so what we need to do first of all is create a panel. So to do that, basically what we want AI to do is to assign 3 different experts. I mean, when I first did the strategy, I'm gonna add Claude in here. When I first did the strategy, I'd say, hey, let's get Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and blah, blah, blah to discuss the nuances of this thing. And they'll do, and you'll find like, because when you read through, you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I disagree with that. And you can basically pick and choose the bits that you think are most helpful. Excuse me, my voice is just returning. Like I had a cold, it like took my voice off the shelf for a few days. So we got Claude 3.5 Sonnet, which is like one of the most powerful models it's got, which is awesome. Max tokens, we're just gonna put 4,000 like so. And look guys, it's already what we call mapped, auto-populate this question webhook. So we can just yank over, grab and pull that over. Now look, add message. If you want to follow along and build this one with me, this is what I would do, okay? Role would be user, content, let's come down to content, type would be text, and then we have a text. So I'm going to pop this prompt in, and I'll run you through it very briefly. So look, you are an expert panel creator. Your task is to generate 3 exceptionally qualified expert roles for a hypothetical roundtable discussion on a given topic. When provided with a question, you will output 3 distinct roles of world-class experts who would offer the most authoritative, diverse, and insightful perspectives. Here's the input. Boom. How cool is that? Based on this question, generate 3 expert roles that can be specific individuals, real hypothetical, or positions that represent absolute pinnacle of expertise in their respective fields. Aim for diversity of background and perspective while maintaining supreme relevance topic. Output your response in JSON in the format as follows. So look, here's a little hack for you as well. What we want, okay, if we get an output from a language model, let's just say I say to ChatGPT, dude, give me 5 strategies for doing X, or give me 5 ways I could improve my phone usage. if I want those 5 things to be 5 separate outputs, in other words, that I could splinter my automation to 5 different things, I wanted to give it me in JSON. If it's just a one text output like Jack, here's your strategy, we don't need to worry about JSON. But if I want to get a response of, let's say, 5 things, maybe it's an article, 5 different topics, maybe it's 5 different strategies, get it to give it you in JSON. That's really, really important. So I'll show you how you get this. For example, if I come over to ChatGPT and if I said, hey, I will have this output, turn it into JSON, okay? And then I could say something like role 1, blah, 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 blah. Speciality, blah, 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 okay? This is really bad, like, writing, but I'm just doing this so you can get like a little bit of, I'm just trying to add that help you with all your knowledge as you go through this, because I think like these little tips and tricks will kill it, okay? Boom. Now what it'll do is turn that into JSON, like so, boom. There you go. So we specified the output. Now, the reason we use JSON, guys, is because, and if you've not heard it before, don't worry, this is gonna be so unbelievably clear to you. You're gonna be like, dude, I've got 20/20 JSON vision. Is we use this beautiful thing called parse JSON. And what that does, it basically creates these outputs here that we can then grab and use. So I can use, this just goes to Claude, this just goes to ChatGPT, this just goes to Llama, and just enables us to do some really, really cool stuff, okay? So you create a JSON if you want to split the outputs. So for example, if I have different models that will be solving different questions or different documents, you split the JSON. Guidelines for selecting experts, just, choose best authority, use a mix of academic, industry, and policy experts. You basically just want it to be different. You know what I mean? You could just say, you could even let the user decide if you want to. I mean, it literally, guys, you're limited only by imagination. That's it. That's what I want you to think about. Consider interest and expertise, your goals, create panel of experts, blah, 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 blah. And we click OK. And then you would say to ChatGPT to create you a JSON structure based on the individual outputs that you would want. So then, guys, we come here, we click on this guy, and we're going to add in parse JSON, okay? And where's that parse button? Beautiful. We click on him, and then we say choose data structure, just add data structure, and just put generate, and put sample data in of what it would look like so, which is cool. Come down, and then it will generate for us. Awesome. And then just click OK. And you'll see all this stuff down here, by the way, guys. See how simple and straightforward it is? Super duper cool. Then we click save. And then on JSON string, just put the text response from Claude, okay? So this one here is gonna be King panel, all right? Give it a little king icon, sweet, love it. Boom, come here. Excellent, now let's run this one all the way from top. So we're running webhook, that's okay. Come back over to our website like so. We're gonna refresh it so we can get a new question. Come down, just say, how many, how about this? Should I do boxing or jiu-jitsu? I'll do BJJ. Yeah, BJJ. Boom, that comes off. I come back. This is complete. The King panel's creating a prompt for us now, which is excellent. And that's done. So if this has done its job properly, we should see, look at this, former world champion boxer and boxing coach, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and MMA coach, and a sports psychologist and martial arts researcher. And what I've done with this one, guys, is I said, look, give me a role and give me expertise so that I can actually just give that to the language models. Like, no, this is your role. This is what you're experienced in. Then go on to help me out, all right? So that is now basically it's turned the input that we've got into JSON, which is cool. And then if you look at this, we've got the output, role 1, expertise 1, role 2, expertise 2. So then look, if I add in like another Claude module, right? Check this out, guys. I add in Claude module, if I click in, if I just go to, let's just say 4,000 tokens, if I do add message, on the role, I put user, if I do content, I get to type text. Look at this, guys. How insane is this? Look at this, right? I think this is so cool. I can do role 1, I can do expertise 1. So I can just say, you get expertise 1, you get expertise 2, and so on and so on and so forth until we've got everything nailed down. I think that is so, so cool. Excellent, so what do we do now? Now look, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna build this automation, and then I'm gonna come back to the website, to the AI application, and send it back. So just to give you some frameworks for this, okay? We have the application, which we're gonna design with Claude and make incredible. It sends information to this webhook, but the question becomes, dude, how do I get it back? Well, I'll show you exactly how you get it back. We're gonna do this by bookending it with a webhook response. This grabs it, our magic happens in between, and then we fire it straight back to the website with all the information that we want. So the question becomes, what do we need to add in next specifically, right? Well, look, we need to add in our panels and build the prompts out for that. So The reason I'm going to use different language models for this is going to give us an incredible response. So we're going to do Claude, we're going to do ChatGPT, and we're going to do Llama. If you use part of my community, you can unlock Grok as well, level 4, which you don't have to pay for in Make if you're part of the group. So click on this, right? Let's have a look at what we want. User, text. Now look, let's give it a prompt, okay? Let's see what the prompt we're going to give it. Now, for just that respect for your time, I'm going to chat through the prompt rather than rewrite all of it, just to kind of help you make it a little bit easier for you, okay? Now look, I copy the prompt and I'll run exactly through what the prompt does, what it says, and why we use it. Now look, so look, first thing we do is assign the role and assign the expertise. So look, you are role number 1, okay? What is role 1? You are a former world, okay, boom, we get rid of this. You are role 1. A former world champion kickboxer. Cool. Perfect. So we're saying, hey, you are a blah, 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 who is a blah, blah, blah. Now look at this, okay? This is where it gets really cool. If you don't have a name, you may assume one for the purposes of the panel, of this panel debate. You have been invited to participate in a high-profile panel discussion with other distinguished experts to answer this question. What do we do? Insert a question. Cool. Hope this all makes sense, right? How cool. This is so cool, guys. I think this is so sick. Your task is to provide initial thoughts on the topic. As a panelist, you should introduce yourself briefly, mention your role expertise. Your goal is to provide the best advice possible to individuals asking the question. You are there, you are on their side. You want to help them win. Do this with the best of your expertise. Present your initial perspective on a topic, drawing from vast expertise and knowledge. Highlight key points. Remember, you're speaking to both your fellow panelists and a broader audience. Your goal is to provide valuable insights while setting the stage for rich, multifaceted discussion. Keep in mind, this is just the opening round. In subsequent rounds, you will have the opportunity to respond to and build on the perspectives of other panelists. For now, focus on the early, presenting your thoughts. Please keep your response concise, under 100 words. Begin your response with a brief self-introduction before delving into your perspective on the topic. I'm going to get rid of that, and I just wanted to jump straight in, okay? Now, guys, this is just one application. There's going to be so many things. You must output some paragraphs, include clear line breaks, blah, blah, blah. And then we click, okay, cool. Now, we want to make sure we name these. So let's just rename this one, call this guy 1. Maybe we just do 1 and then an emoji for like each round. So round 1 could be like 5, for example. Sweet. Now let's add ChatGPT. Click on the button. We come to ChatGPT. If you've not added ChatGPT before, by the way, it's really simple. You just go to platform.openai.com and add an API. I'll put a link down below. Just basically click the buttons down below and you'll be fine. I've also got guides and stuff like that as well. So you're absolutely sorted any way that you look at it, okay? So we've got this one here, for instance. The model is going to be GPT-4o. And then what do we need to do? Okay, so max tokens is going to be 0. If you put 0 for ChatGPT, you'll always max out the maximum of tokens, which is cool. Then we're going to click on add message. The role is going to be user, and then the content. So just to save us time, I go to Claude, I come down, I copy, I come back over. You know what I do, guys? I do that classic Control-V. And all I need to do is change the role. So he's not role 1, he is, move over here. Just always want to make sure you can get a really good look at this. You're not role 1, you are role 2. A expertise 2. Actually, I just realized a small mistake that I made. Come back over. I put role 1 on twice, I think. There you go. Look. See? What I actually need to do is add expertise 1. There you go. Cool. Sweet. I'm glad we caught that. Then we're just going to come on here, rename it, call this one 2 with a little fire emoji. Beautiful. In fact, actually what we need to do is we need to name these. I just realized, and that'll become apparent later. Again, let's call this one ChatGPT. Cool. And then finally, we'll do Llama. For that, we will add in Perplexity. Now, guys, obviously, like the reason why I've done 3 models is because we're trying on different stuff. They think differently, and not only are we getting 3 different experts, we're getting 3 completely different language models to challenge perspectives. It's like tripling up. I mean, I'm sure this one can do some research on this. I don't think there's that much specifically on the panel discussion strategy, but I think it's really powerful. So let's pick a model. Let's just double check. I did some research on the strongest model that is available within this, and it is, the 370B Instruct. So we come over. And we come on the 370B Instruct, which is cool. This one doesn't have internet access, by the way. We don't need it. We could add internet access if we want to. We could add a researcher that says, hey, research this topic, get his data. Then we feed the data into the models. And then the data, like all the language models, then have the latest, greatest data on the internet. Do you see how insane this is? I've just tried to make this simple. This video could be 6 hours, by the way. Maybe you want it. Maybe I need to get 6 coffees, 6 hours of content, and just show you how insane this could be. So max tokens, again, we'll just put 4,000 on this one. In fact, actually, I think you can just leave it on this one. Just come down to message, come into the content section once again, and then we just copy and paste it once again. We come over to role 1. This time, it's going to be role 3 with expertise 3. How cool is that, guys? Really, really cool. And then this is its question there down below. And we can come down and see all the beautiful stuff that we had there. And then we click OK. And the role is going to be user. And we're going to click OK. Now, guys, out of respect for your time, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to build this out 3x3x3. I'm going to show you how it works. And I'm going to add a webhook in so you get the concept. I think the most valuable part of this video is going to be the concept. So you can take your ideas, your tools, and you can fly with it. And I want to make sure that I respect your time. So let me show you what the rest of the steps look like so you can build this yourself if you like to. And then I will show you the other bit where we finesse out the AI itself, okay? So look, beautiful. All right, sweet. So like, I'm gonna come back over now to this one. I click okay. Now look, those were those 3, okay? What do we do for the second stage? These 3 here, okay? Look, you do the same thing. You duplicate this guy, like this, and you bring him and you pop him in here. And then you duplicate that guy and pop him in there. It's as simple as that, right? Auto align. Now let's look at the prompt for the next 2 levels. We repeat the same thing again. You are role 1 doing expertise 1. You're a participant in a high profile panel discussion doing this and doing basically to the, excuse me, oh my, dude, I can't speak. I need to get some language skills over here. High profile panel discussion to basically answer this question. This is round 2 of 3. So we basically said, look, you've already said some stuff, bro. This is what's happened. And then what we need to do, guys, is we say, this is what you said first. So we come down on the left and we basically put the text response from the first module. And then we say, hey, this is what panelist 2 said. And you put the result from that guy. And then this is what panelist 3 said. And you put their result. So basically it gets its first comments and the comments of the other panelists. And then we just tell it, basically give it a prompt for the second round. For the second round, briefly acknowledge your fellow panelists' insights without repeating them in detail. Reflect on how their perspective relates or differs from your own initial response. Challenge or refine the ideas presented using your unique expertise to deepen the discussion. Introduce a new perspective or unconventional approach that has not been covered yet. So we're just saying, look, okay, critique them, like what have they got right, what have they got wrong, and then just try and bring something fresh into the discussion, which then itself can be re-critiqued in round 3. Provide one concrete example of a case study that supports your main point. This should illustrate the packed point. Do not hallucinate. Offer one to, and by the way, what we could do if we added the perplexity module in to go out and do the research, run the internet accessing levels, which I'll show in a sec. We could say, look, go and find me 10 data points. I could say, look, using these data points, give an interesting conclusion. Like we could, if we spent together like an hour with some coffee together, we could make this like I think this itself is sellable. It's that good. Because if I wanted to have a conversation on a panel using multiple models, where could I do that? Do you know what I mean? Like it's so much faff and energy. And I think it's really powerful. I really genuinely think there's so much power in this. Offer 1 to 2 specific actionable recommendations that the audience can implement in both short and long term. I'm making it useful. I'm saying, hey, give me some short, give me some long. Anticipate and briefly address a potential counter-argument to your position, consider a future trend, keep your response concise, blah, blah, blah. And then guys, it's the exact same prompt you copy. You come over to number 2, you copy ChatGPT, you come back over, you paste them in here, paste it in, and all you do differently, guys, and this is like the only time-consuming part of it, is you say, look, you are, again, role 2, expertise 2. This is what you said last time. And then instead of it being panelist 1 and 2, 2 and 3, it's now panelist 1 and 3. So you basically say, look, that was panelist 1, I'm panelist 2, so I need to give it the answers from panelist 1 and 3. So you're basically just switching around the order and give it that context. You do it for that, and then you do it for perplexity, the same thing. So then this is what panelist 1 said, this is what panelist 2 said, here's what you said. If you want to use internet access, by the way, when you're using perplexity, basically you want to click the one that says online. That's the only thing that has it. The way that you know that is you can ask it a question like, hey, what's the date? And if it doesn't return the date, the way you can do that, by the way, is you can like right click, run this module only, and then it will fire off automatically. If you ask it a date, it will give you the correct date if it's connected to the internet. And then guys, you just repeat the exact same process again. You come in here, you come to this guy, okay, we clone him, we bring him over, we add him to the end of the line, we pop him in there, we auto align, we come down, and then we just change the prompt and we rename it so it's really clear. So for the final round, what do? We come back over to this guy here, like so, and let's look at the prompt finally. Come down. URL 1, expertise 1, here's the question. Your initial response. Panelists 2, here's their role and what they said. Panelists 3, here's their role, what they said. Then I say, second round responses. So this is this is what you're doing, this is what you're doing. This is what happened in round 1. Boom. This is what happened in round 2. Boom. For the final round, then we give it this prompt, right? State your main takeaway from a discussion in 1 sentence, maximum 16 words. Directly address and refute a specific argument made by another panelist. Synthesize the panel insights. Offer 3 concrete, actionable recommendations. Rank them in order of importance. Present a brief, hypothetical scenario illustrating how your top recommendation would play out in a real-world situation. Predict how this topic might evolve in 5 to 10 years. Conclude a powerful motivational call to action. Briefly acknowledge any limitations in your position. Keep your response under 250 words. Use paragraphs. Blah, 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 blah. Guys, you copy and paste it. And once again, you just change around the order. So you said this is panelist 1, this is panelist 3. You said this is 1 and 3. And the next one will be 1 and 2, right? You see, come down. There you go. This is what you said. Here's 1. This is what you said. Here's 1. Here's 2. Cool. And then we end it with a webhook response. And that, guys, is the entire automation in a nutshell. It's very cool. Potential's insane. I actually use this. I've used this like several times, like after making it. I'm like, because it's just so good. I read through it and I was like, dude, this is like really helpful stuff. I'm going to improve on it by adding in a research bot as well to get like 10 bits of like data. And then I'll be feeding that data to the models so they can like use that and they can get like academically enforced data as well as the discussion across different experts and different models. All right, cool. So what do we do now? Now look, I come back. For the purposes of this, we're gonna just do 1 round of conversations and send it back over. Now look, at the end of it, this whole thing is bookmarked by these 2 webhooks. And if I come down to see the webhooks, let me show you how it works. Look, I come down to webhook response and check this out. Look at this, I've got HTML, dun, 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 dun. Oh my goodness, what is going on? There's a lot of stuff going on there, okay? Look, you're gonna need custom headers and a value type. So you're gonna work with basically Claude to develop that. So basically what I would then suggest you do is do this. You come back here and say, look, awesome. Plant the word awesome in. I am, and just explain your purpose. So I am using Make.com. And webhooks to send and receive data. I have received, the data from the website successfully. I now need to set the data back to the website with the responses for the chat, okay? Please do 2 things. Actually, do 3 things, okay? Number 1, create HTML for the webhook. What's the name of it? The webhook response. Where are we? Dun, 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 dun. Webhook response in Make. And I'll say, here are the inputs. Now, what do? We need to give the inputs, okay? Now check this out. If I come over here, what you would then do, guys, is basically come here. We would get for webhooks, like so. We would say webhook response. All the information that you've got that you want to come back. So you could say, look, I want to know the expert name. I want to know this. I want to know that. We can add all of that in there. So look, here's what you could say. I would say, look, let's go down to King Panel first. Go to content. Let's go to, okay. Expert 1, boom. Expert 2 would be role 2. And then expert 3 would be role 3. And then I would say expert 1's response. I'd come down, excuse me. Oh my goodness. Come down, Claude text response, okay? And let's just copy that for our own time's sake. Expert 2's response is this one. And then expert 3's response is choices, message, content. All right, we copy that. So think about the data points you need, put it just in the body so you can get the actual codes and let Claude do all the heavy lifting for you, okay? Here are the inputs, and just say, I would like, okay. Come down like this. The second thing that we want it to do then is to amend the HTML code and paste it in full so that it can receive the data from make and then present those answers in the WhatsApp style chat. And I could say, please include the speaker's name or the expert's name, just so we're consistent. And I'll zoom out and re-summarize in a second if you feel it's not making sense. And the third thing we need to then do is basically say, look, do we require any keys, any custom headers, including key and value, basically. And then at this point, let's come back over. Let's just take a little screenshot. Show advanced settings. Come over here, grab that. Sweet, come back over to cloud, push that in. That's quite a beastly question we've given it. So then type in enter. So you've done three things, okay? One, you've said, look, we've tested and validated that it can send the data, agreed. We now need to test that it can receive the data. So we're saying update the code so it can receive data, number one. Number two, what is the actual thing I need to put in the body? Tell me what that is, and also tell me what the keys and values are. So I'm saying, I've asked it three things. One, what do I put here? What do I put here? And the third thing is, how do I change this code so it can now receive it? Now, sometimes it will allow you to receive, but I'm just trying to help reduce your error rate, okay? So I come back over then. Let's have a look at what Claude is doing and what it's saying. Now, look, it's done it. Cool, the HTML code for webhook response and make.com, boom, come on here. Let's have a look. All right, sweet. So we just, come to the code, and all we do is we copy the contents, and we come back over to our new, which is this one, I believe, isn't it? Yeah, sweet. Come here, in the body. There you go, boom. You can see. Excellent. Nice. Now, what do we need for the key headers, right? Let's check that out. So let's come back over into cloud. Okay, so let's have a look. Application JSON. I'm just going to come back to that in a second because it's put it in JavaScript. Let me just see what it's done on here. So first of all, let's do the HTML webhook integration bit first. Come down to code. Okay, sweet. So what we do is we come down, we copy the contents, come back over to the website, which is available here. Click on this guy. One of the little things you'll notice sometimes, it will love to change it to JavaScript instead of HTML. Very cheeky, very, very cheeky indeed. So I'm just going to save you a little bit of time with that. Da-da-da. Okay, cool. So that's up and running. That's cool. Get rid of this guy. Come back over. Now for Claude, I just say, hey, on the make integration. All be HTML, and then I'll just, yeah. There is no JavaScript in the website, or please clarify what you would the key and value in the make module. Boom, send that over. And guys, this is what it's just back and forth. It's basically ask it questions, it'll do it. Sometimes it gets a little cheeky, does some bits and pieces. So there you go. Let's have a look. For the custom headers, this is what it requires us to do. All right, sweet. Okay, so before it now it's had to re-edit the code for all of it, which is excellent. Ordinarily, guys, if you come up against a barrier, just say, hey, it isn't working, and just ask it the question. So it's a little bit of test and answer. So let's update all three things, okay? Number one is the make webhook response code. So come here, copy that. Let's do make first, come back over, come here, boom. Okay, that's better. Then we've got key and value. So let's go check out what those two things are. So for the key, we want the content type, excellent. And then for the value, we want this. And then we click, dun, 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 dun. Okay, incredible. Then we come back over and let's have a look at the updated WhatsApp style chat. Come to code, we copy it, and then what we're gonna do is gonna come back over then to our beautiful website, which by the way, guys, you can do so much stuff with this website. Like, it's ridiculous. It's so customizable. There's so many things you can choose. Again, I'm just showing you the bare bones so you can have a little bit of fun with it. Come down, click done, come up, click save, click publish, give it a sec. It's like working in the background, having a good time, and let's go visit it. All right, now it's time for inventory. Obviously, we need to like change the code for this. It's like V2 by V6. So my dogs are like trying to come in the door. I'll go catch them in literally 2 seconds. But look, so let's just test this whole thing works. Now automatically, guys, these webhooks can be running perfectly in the background all the time automatically. So now is the moment of truth. Let's see that it works. Let's refresh the page one more time and then give it a question like, should I buy Mac or Windows? I am very tech literate. And we click send. So not much has happened. It says it's accepted. So we've lost some of our emojis. That happens sometimes, guys, is that when it does code, other things drop out. Now look at this. King Prompt has created basically the prompt for us, which is great. We've got a CTO, a tech company. We've got a renowned computer science professor, and we've got a professional services developer. Claude's done it. ChatGPT's done it. Llama's done it. And it sent something back to the website. So I head back over now to the website. What do we see? So nothing has reappeared on the website. Do you know what, guys? That is perfectly okay. If I click on the status here, status 200, everything should be fine. So what do? We just come back to WhatsApp and say, hey, the make automation worked well. However, the messages did not appear in the website. Please rewrite the entire HTML code to ensure that it both sends and receives the data. Please also add in a 30-second timer that stops once the data appears. Let's also add the confetti emoji, a confetti animation on submission, back in. Remove all of the dead white space underneath the submission bar. Boom, hit enter. Now it will revise the code for us. And basically this is how it works. Like, it will, sometimes it's like 3 steps forward, 1 step back in terms of the code, but you basically be very specific. And that's why I encourage you, when you get working code for that, just bank it to one side a little bit. And you can even start to edit little bits in particular. But if you're good with the prompt, it should work perfectly. I can see our thing there, which is cool. So we just come down, we copy the contents. Let's head back over now to the website. Let's edit the code. Come back down, come down to the code, come on the left hand side. Oops, I think I accidentally put the wrong button there. 1 sec. Let's come back over. Let's copy it again. Come back over. Get rid of it. Paste it. Done. We save it. We publish the changes. We let it load a little bit in the background. We view it. And there we go. It's actioned it. I mean, how cool is that? I mean, this can literally do anything that you want it to. So what do? We come back over then to make. And by the way, you can see this stuff is working. So look, good evening. I'm Dr. Samantha Chan. For a tech literate individual, the choice between Mac and Windows largely depends on blah, blah, blah. What do? We run this once. Wait for new data. And I'll ask it, can I get a 6-pack in 6 months? Question, ready? Then we send, boom. Convey emojis back. Time remaining 29 seconds. So we add timers in. How cool is that? We come back over now to the module. Look at this. We've got the prompts created, JSON's done its work. Now it's going through each panel's discussion. Now guys, the only reason it's taking this much time is because we've got all these language models, right? Doing different questions and stuff. You could actually use this to get a database. So in other words, you could send this to Airtable to retrieve information from a client and spit it back dynamically in a couple of seconds max. How crazy is that? the webhook response has been sent back. Let's see if it appears in the web page. We come here and look at this, guys. World-renowned exercise physiologist, Dr. Sarah Muscleton here. Exercise specializing in muscle hypertrophy and body composition changes with over 2 decades research, blah, blah, blah. Can you get a six-pack in 6 months? Absolutely. But it requires dedication, a holistic approach, blah, blah, blah. And essentially, guys, you can then just work with Claude or ChatGPT to finesse and adapt this however you want to. So, for example, align it to the left, use these different colors for these hex codes, do this emotion, this emoji, make this animation better. Essentially, the world is your oyster. The biggest thing I want you to take away from this video is the fact that you can have a user input on a website, we can send it to make.com, we can get AI involvement to automate anything. Like this could be a business idea, like, type in your podcast details here, like, type in a video for your podcast. We scrape the video, we turn it into 50 viral tweets, we send it straight back out. We can take payments from them. We can do so many incredible things. I hope you see the potential of this because it's so, so good. But in any case, guys, I hope you have a wonderful week. Hopefully my voice is better next time, and I'll see you in the next video.